etc. So why is posture and stance important? Okay, so posture is important because it allows you to move efficiently. Stance is important because it allows you to use external force to add to your internal force. So if I have I have a good posture, but I have no stance. So I'll get into the front section. So if I have good posture, I'm very good posture, and he's got a good mechanical advantage, and I push, but I have no stance. Right? So how do I turn posture into stance? So I engage my abdominals, I change my pelvic floor, slightly upturned, I engage my quads a little bit, I push the pressure into my heel, and so even from this mechanical disadvantage, I can make pressure to the floor. That's why you have a stance. To make pressure, to use external force to add it to your internal force. So, while you can have a good good posture, but be in a bad stance. So, for instance, Justin, not to pick on you, but earlier he was punching this way. So the posture is okay, but the stance is not good. Because he can't engage the hip as efficiently as he could if the hip were turned forward. So, and you can make a stance and a back stance and you can punch. We do this in MP and you can do it in Kumite, etc. But you can actually get more hip drive if you allow the hip to rotate more. So this is a positional for a tactical reason. So you need to make, so he does that kick, for instance, and I enter a back stance. So now I'm in this stance, and can I punch? Of course. But if I rotate the hips, I can do it, even if my foot turns the other way. Right? So you're still making pressure forward.
What do you mean if your foot turns the other way?
So here I can do hand, or I can go. It doesn't matter because the pressure to the floor can be from the heel.
Oh, okay.
Or it can be from the fall of the foot. So it depends what you're doing. So some people will tell you that always turn on the heel. Some people will tell you that it's both. It depends on the situation when you turn on the ball or the heel. Because some places, even in katas, so we went to a seminar a few months ago where, Basai Dai, and you've done boom, and you do the swim. So if you turn on the heel, right, so you're not using boom. So it makes, so people will tell you to turn on the heel, but they should have a reason to do it, not just because somebody told them to do it that way.
That's a very good connection.
Yes. So just watch your footwork, and the easiest way to kind of train your stances is katas. Because if you're sparring, you're moving, you're making the stances, but you're immediately moving out of the stance because you're not staying in that stance, or else you're going to get clocked unless you knock the guy out. So you need to move into a stance and then out of a stance very quickly. In katas, it allows you to check the stance. You know, are you in this stance? Are you in this stance? Are you in this stance? Good. So we're going to go back to the kata, but concentrating on posture and stance, which are like the two first fundamentals of karate, right? So let's go back and do hand shodan, which we did in the last session. But now we're going to do it slow, and we're going to check every single move. Make sure you're in the right spot. Okay? So you stagger, and we're going to do it together once. And then we're going to break apart and have one person watch you, and one person do the kata. And then they'll correct you, because it's hard for me to correct all 15 people. Right? Okay, so the very first move. H. Good. So, now, from a posture standpoint, there's a little bit more abdominals, don't touch your back quite so much. Just a little bit more here, and you can just open the shoulders and get that just there. Yeah, yes, much better. Much better. A little bit more hanmei. This is good. Head straight, Sensei. Good. Hit that hip, turn one knee more forward. Okay, so now you're going to make a stepping punch. This is probably to me, this is like the hardest move in karate. to do well, right? So are you squeezing, are you pushing and pulling, whatever, right? So you have an outside pressure on your stance, so let the release of the outside pressure make your step, right? So press, and now release, go, itch. Okay, go back, down back. Right, look this way for a second. So, if you overemphasize the different pieces in the wrong relationship to each other, something will come apart. So if it's all push and no pull, you're liable to kind of break. You're also liable to kind of bend your knee because you're trying to get that extra push in there. If it's all pull, etc. So you've got to find this balance between a little bit of leg extension, a little bit of ankle flexion, and press, pull to make it a seamless move. Otherwise, it's going to have a little hiccup in it. You don't want hiccups. You want smooth, 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 smooth. Right? So start slow, figure out the body action that you need, and then gradually speed it up. So on your own, just make that steppy punch about 5 or 6 times until you feel like it feels really smooth, really efficient, and very effective. Make sure you're ending up in Shotokan. Starting in Hanme and ending up in Shotokan. This is like the most difficult step. You go from Hanme to the step. It's easier if it's in Shotokan. Overextend, stay in Shotokan. Okay, now so we're going to do this very basic here, but from this stance, try not to stop and then punch. This hip needs to be moving until you make the twist. And why do we make the twist? So since I said power, but why does the twist help you make power? You know? So the reason that it helps you make power is because if you can make a snap, but if you twist, then you engage more muscles.
Yes.
If you engage more muscles, you have more mass behind the punch.
Right.
So by doing the twist, you engage these underneath muscles. And you can do it without the twist, but it's easier with the twist. It's just natural to kind of pull this in to a base. So that twist helps you get your mass behind the technique a little better. It helps you engage other muscles and solidify your trunk. So hit, 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 hit until this stops. Don't stop and then punch, right? Or kind of don't like fall into push into lead. So this has to time. So it's kind of like the analogy of if you're on a train, and the train's boom, 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 and you're on the front of the train, and the train's going, and boom, 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 and then bam, versus the train, stop, bam. Right? All you got's your fist. You want the whole body mass. So this, while that happens, right? So keep your body in motion until it's not. What makes snap is how fast you can deliver and how fast you can stop. Now this is kind of the impulse. If you have a billiard ball and it hits the other ball, you have almost a perfect transmission of momentum. So the billiard ball hits this billiard ball, and this one stops, and that one keeps going. The harder the two objects are, the easier that is to accomplish.
Right.
The softer they are, the harder it is to accomplish. So we have to figure out how to do that, even if you're punching a body that's not 100% dense mass, right? So you can push and be heavy, versus and make that shock, right? It's the amount of time that the energy is transferring from your body to your opponent. So that's the snatch. So you got to time that precisely, or else you're going to lose part of it. And that's okay. As we get better and more skilled, you'll get better at making that delivery shorter and shorter until it's as short as you can make it, right? Each of us has our own limitations based on our skill level, how long we're doing it, how old we are, our muscle mass, etc. Right? So, but we want to do it as well as each person does. So if you stop, boom, it's not going to be as strong boom, as if you time it. Okay, so now just concentrate on that step. Go from the first move, squeeze, squeeze, boom. Don't punch too early, don't punch too late. So try it on your own a few times. Questions? It's when your weight drops into the tension of the heel into your heel. So your heel now it's starting to plant, and now when the weight moves into the heel, that's when it happens. Okay, I'm in. So just a clarification.
Yes, good punch.
The movement and the timing of the punch is when your body's center, they both stop at the same time. It's not when your foot and your hand work at the same time, because your foot is in front of you, right? Otherwise, it would be kind of it would just be applauding for the move. So your foot is getting in front of you, and you're now pushing your weight as the front part of the foot stops. The bottom part hits down, and your knee flexes, and then your weight drops into your heel. That's when your punch is showing up. It's not like a flat foot, just bam. It's very mechanical, right? It has to be this. It might look like it's exactly the same time, but this is a little head, and then bam. And that heel drops, and the weight drops into that leg. Bam, that's when you hit. Okay? So now, I want you to grab a partner and just do those two moves. One person looks, the other person does it. You give them correction, tell them what they need to change.
What is it?
We never look like this. We all do.
Watch your feet. Oh.
I love it.
There you go.